Welcome to Badger Beer Hour for July 2024. Our lineup tonight includes news, Joel's Brewery Report, an interview with not one, but two people, James and Tommy from Enlightened Brewing. We'll have brewery travels, some beer events, and who knows what's in store with the last call. But first, here's the news. Hey, Chris.
Hi, Landon. How are you?
I am dandy. How are you?
Dandy. Wow.
Dandy.
Nobody says dandy anymore when you ask that.
That's right.
Nice.
That is
I'm
a word
happy for
that
you.
does not get used very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some news, but not much of it apparently, huh?
It's a little light this month, I think.
A little
Considering
light.
we had an extra week because of the RNC, I kind of would have expected a little bit, maybe 20 to 25% more news, possibly. Alas.
Yeah. Alas, we're gonna start off with some bad news because that's pretty much all the beer news that we get anymore.
Wow. Yeah, well, it's a closing. Last week, our Noggin Brewing Company in Kenosha, which I actually went looking for the explanation of why they are called our Noggin, apostrophe Noggin, and couldn't find it. But they are closing. They announced it on the Facebook, and I kind of like this approach. They said they didn't say exactly when they were gonna, hang it up, and although they mentioned an anniversary party in the fall, it seemed like they were going to do that, and last year's was in mid-November, so maybe we're looking at that kind of timeline. I like this because as soon as anything, as soon as that you can't do anything anymore, everybody wants to do it.
Right.
And I think who knows? Maybe they can kind of. And let me just say this. Here's the key passage from this post that they put up on Facebook. We are currently exploring options for our future, but do not have any solidified plans that we can share now. Regardless of what next steps may or may not be for our Noggin Brewing, we can look back on these 8 years and smile. The friendships that were made, the people that we met, the impacts that we had, and all the memories that we will cherish mean the world to us. So it sounds like they're maybe trying to find a new, maybe smaller location or something like that.
Sure.
In any case, this brewery opened in 2016, and it was opened by homebrewing brothers Kevin and Jeff Brindleman. And I have not been to our Noggin, but the aesthetic from like the website and their I think they were at a festival that I was at in Milwaukee once, maybe, or something. I don't know, but it's a weird aesthetic. Like their logo has like a skull and a bow tie and like a top hat, like almost like a Mad Hatter type situation, and like a lot of their imagery and the kind of decor in the tap room are in that kind of pulp comic book aesthetic kind of thing. Yeah, It's interesting. I never really heard a lot about these guys, but obviously wish them the best, and who knows, maybe it's not the end of this chapter for them.
Well, let's hope not. It's a tough industry to be in right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on, we'll talk about the U.S. Open. We're not talking about golf or tennis.
No. We're talking about beer. This is the U.S. Open Beer Championship, which bills itself very very modestly as one of the top 3 beer competitions in the USA.
Oh,
not even going. I mean, obviously GABF and the what's their other the GABF competition, and then there's another one that's run by the same organization, the Brewers Association. That I think obviously it's getting out of the way of those two. But hey, we got some things to talk about, and at least it's interesting, Yeah. It does say that it's based out of Oxford, Ohio, and they say that they judge more beer styles than any other competition in the world. So that's something.
Okay.
To the point, here are the Wisconsin winners.
Yeah.
Under Brett Beer, Wisconsin had a gold winner in Sazawaka. I'm guessing Riwaka and Saz hops in that one.
Sure.
from 1840 Brewing in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yay, friend of show.
Yeah. Yep.
In the milkshake IPA category, they've got a milkshake IPA category, so that kind of tells you how they get to the most beer styles.
Right.
We have a silver award winner in Pineapple Comet from Mosinee Brewing Company up near Wausau.
Okay.
In German wheat beer, we have a silver for Milwaukee's Lakefront Brewery with their My Turn AJ beer, which I think was that a spring release or maybe over winter.
Yeah, that one, I think that one's been a while ago. I don't think I
Yeah.
had that one though. But yeah.
All right. So that was a silver. Another silver for in the barrel aged Brett / Wild category.
There's a category you don't always see. Yeah.
Wrath of Kong from, get this, Flicks Brew House in Madison. This is the I believe it's a chain of craft breweries in theaters. And I gotta feel for it's kind of a, I mean, we don't want to talk too much about the industry being down, but it's a challenging time right now. And that's kind of a double hit. That's tough business times two.
Right.
But congrats to them for Wrath of Kong. And then we had a couple bronzes. One was in chili pepper beer from the Explorium here in the Milwaukee area, BA Chocolate Chili, which sounds actually pretty good. And then in a non-beer category, well, I think it's non-beer. It's Root Beer Adult is the name of the category.
So a malted beverage?
I don't think so, because the winner was Stevens Point Brewery or not the winner, it was a bronze, but for Point Root Beer, which I think is just their regular root beer. And there was also Root Beer Kids category. I cannot square those. It does not appear to be for the other entries. Do not appear to be for like hard root beers.
I see.
So I can't explain. I don't know what makes one a kids or an adult.
Maybe judged by adults, judged by kids.
Maybe there's one like with an unseemly label with like like butts or something on it. I don't know. I can't say. But those are the winners in the U.S. From Wisconsin in the U.S. Open Beer Championship.
Very good.
It is one of the majors.
It's one of the majors, one of the three majors.
U.S. beer circuit.
Yeah.
Beer competition.
One of the top three majors.
You're gonna get a Grand Slam for
yeah.
I mean, 1840's got to go for it. They got to go for the Grand Slam.
Right. Let's talk about Three Sheeps coming to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool story because I've always thought of Three Sheeps as kind of like an honorary Milwaukee brewery. Really good brewery, about an hour away in Sheboygan, but Milwaukee is their biggest market, and their beer is very good, and you can find it in a lot of places in Milwaukee. They've always had good sales staff here, and continue to. So hats off to them. But they're opening a tap room, and it's a tap room that's already here. It's the Hacienda / Door County Brewing tap room, which opened on North Avenue here in Milwaukee on the east side in 2019. A lot of East Siders will know that as the former BBC bar location. And so they're kind of, the way that this place was set up is they had a bar with two sides, and then there's dual taps coming out of each side. So, and what they had with Hacienda, I believe, was maybe some of those were used on the other side, but a lot of them were mirrored. So they had all this extra tap capacity that they kind of weren't really using. So, Hacienda or Door County Brewing, Hacienda is a brand of Door County Brewing, right, that they launched, I think, right around the time that this tap room launched in 2019. They Three Sheeps produces almost all of Door County and Hacienda's beer now. Hacienda was brought into the fold on a contract or alt prop or something basis earlier this, I think it was in February. So that's an existing relationship, and I think they've been making Door County beers for quite some time. So there's an existing relationship, and I'm guessing that Grant Pauly has been looking at Milwaukee for a while and kind of thinking about how to pull. You know, in talking about it, Grant was very. I think he was very careful to not like to. You know, this is dicey because you're basically opening competition with your customers. You know,
Right.
in
Right.
having a space. So I think he was real cautious about. Listen, we have our beers on tap in. I think he said something like 50 accounts within like a mile or 2 miles or something of this brewery, and you know we want people to or this tap room, and we want people to still go there. So you know get them, you know, we don't want our customers to suffer from this. But I think
Yeah.
what the agenda is that, you know, that gives them a chance to have another location for special releases, gives them another outlet for those really, like, dude, Three Sheeps has a ton of bangers on pretty much all the time at their tap room. So I think it gives
Yeah.
them kind of another way to get those wolf variants and all their kind of barrel aged stuff. It's there for the up there for their anniversary party in May, June, I don't know, sometime recently. And I mean, they've got like 500 barrels with beer in them aging. I mean,
Wow.
it's a huge barrel age program, and a lot of that stuff. I mean, they don't really miss with that stuff. I mean, you can, you know, there's different levels of sweetness and adjuncts and all that
Sure.
stuff that you might be looking for or not, but they've got kind of something for everyone's brewery. I appreciate a lot. So, you know, having an outlet for those kinds of sales and pick up, you know, 6 packs to go and exclusive, you know, taproom exclusive bottles and stuff like that. That was definitely, and I think just being a citizen in this market that they a little bit more in this market that they're already kind of very present in, I think was a factor too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Cool.
I feel like I kind of just scooted through that one because I did some reporting on it. But any questions on that? I don't know. What did I miss?
I think I got the gist of it.
Okay, great, great.
They're sharing a tap room with Hacienda and
Yes. Oh, and it's gonna be
trying to
called
make the best of it.
it's open now, and it's called the Tipple would be funny. Triple Tap Room and Kitchen.
Okay.
So, and it's
So the play
Hacienda
off
and
of
Door County are still there. You know, Door County, Hacienda,
right.
and Three Sheeps being the triple.
Very good. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Well, normally we don't like to get too controversial, but
Never.
let's
We never do that. No.
let's talk about politics, huh? And
Yeah.
spotted cow and politics.
Well, this is why. I mean, this is why we weren't here last week at our normally scheduled Badger Beer Hour week.
Because you were at the RNC.
The RNC was happening, and I was kind of indisposed. Boy, a lot of stuff to say about the RNC potentially. Oh, what is that?
That's
Who's doing that?
Greg in the background. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot going on. One of the things that it seemed like everybody who came for the convention, anybody who talked to a reporter at least, said that they had a really good time and Milwaukee was a great host. Fortunately,
Sure.
they didn't really leave the whole security bubble to like go to any restaurant or bar anywhere else. But that aside, one of the things that really hit home was Spotted Cow. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, wow. Like the first tweet that I saw this was Robert Evans, who's like a kind of a he had a lot of interesting coverage during the RNC, but he said, you know, Wisconsin, I had never had a Spotted Cow before. I'd heard of it. It's something to be proud of, and this it kind of became a thing, like people talking about Spotted Cow. The JS did a story on it that,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, had all these people, Republican, you know, people from
Yep.
around the country,
Yep.
talking about Spotted Cow, and did not mention the politics of the clear and overt politics of its ownership group in the Carries. Ron Johnson, though, did point that out. He was quoted in a tweet saying, "Spotted Cow is pretty good, but the owner is ultra liberal. Leinenkugel's is the conservative one," which to me is a perfect embodiment of, you know, why politics and beer maybe just don't mix that up. I don't know, because like if you want a good beer, yeah, it's a good beer, but it's not my politics. It's acknowledging that it's good, which is interesting.
I guess I didn't know beer could lean.
Yeah.
I didn't know beer could lean one way or the
Well,
other.
I mean, and it's true. I mean, Dick Leinekugel was
the makers,
Secretary of Commerce, I think, under Republican governor, and
Yep.
and that's their politics is not it's I don't know if they I don't see them in okay I don't all right okay maybe not the convert current iteration of Republican Party,
Yeah.
but I don't really know, so I should probably just stop there. But they're speaking of politics, we do have. I mean, we can't talk about politics and beer without.
How could we
I
go a
know.
month without talking about Minocqua?
Oh
Because
boy,
that's what we got to do.
can you believe that they're going to do a Kamala Harris? Kamala.
No.
Oh my God, I did it.
I thought he
doing
did one.
Another Kamala Harris beer. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
another
they're
one.
working on that. Yeah. I'm assuming this one's going to have coconut in it. I don't know. That's all I want to say about it. Just a little. That's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I think that's
where to go from there.
Landon, that's the news.
That is the news.
Or wait, is that the news?
No, it's not that the news.
Okay.
We're not. We're
not doing that anymore?
I think no, we are, but we got to wait for Joel.
It kills me. I'm threw my rhythm all off.
I know.
Hey, Joel.
You're muted, Joel.
I'm
there you go.
I'm so sorry, Chris, that I'm throwing you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I had no rhythm. I have no charisma, so it's totally fine.
Well, we kind of already touched on a lot of that, which tends to happen with the news because a lot of these openings and closings are, of course, the news. But to kind of put it into a nice package, here we go again with the brewery report. We touched on. I know we've already talked about Modicum, but we did not. I don't believe we touched on Lone Girl opening up their second location in Madison.
Big miss.
Most familiar. That is their second location. So kind of an adjunct. Are they brewing there? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think that's the former Oso.
Yeah. So I didn't think that they were just. That's just going to be an auxiliary tap room.
Nice
we talked
space,
about Modicum coming back, so that is up there in Eau Claire. And then we touched on Three Sheeps getting kind of a. We're putting that in the other category when we do the end there, but another tap room they're sharing there with Hacienda in Door County. Brewery closings, we did have K Point stepping out with Modicum coming in. I'm not including Arnoggen because they have not officially closed as of yet. They are still technically open for at least a little while longer. And that puts our current numbers here. As you can see, sitting at 275 overall when you include kind of the additional tap rooms and locations and kind of the other spots that kind of fall in between, with 225 individual breweries. And here's the county breakdown again. Again, I think I've only had to change this map once since I started it. Not a whole lot of movement because especially when you have stuff going in and out of Dane County and Milwaukee, they're already kind of in that upper echelon very comfortably. So I don't really need to make them any darker than they already are. I think people know that that's where the most breweries are. But as always, remember, if you hear about a brewery closing or opening, especially if it's in a more rural, less covered part of the state, be sure to reach out to us because we may know, but it's also good to double check because we may not. So
yeah, like the really rural and less covered part of Madison that I neglected.
Yeah, well,
Lone Girl opening into.
Yeah,
my bad. Sorry, folks.
But email if you're not watching live, badgerbeerhour@gmail.com, and then you can find any of us on Twitter, Brewery Travels, Wisconsin Beer Baron, Daddy Porter Blog, Taproom Travelers. You know where to find all of us, and just shoot us a message if you hear anything. But yeah, otherwise that's. Kind of the update there for the brewery scene.
Chris.
And that is your Badger Beer Hour news for July. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the interview segment. And I'm excited tonight to be talking to not one, but two brewery meisters, owners, co-founders of Enlightened Beer. We have James and Tommy. Guys, there they are. Hi. Okay, I'd like you guys to kind of introduce yourselves to the audience. Tell us a little bit about Enlightened, and it's kind of the quick version of its backstory and how it came to be.
Right on. Well, my name's Tommy, co-founder of Enlightened Brewing Company. We've been around since 2013. So believe it or not, we're the 4th oldest continually operating brewery in the city of Milwaukee. And that goes behind, your Miller, Sprecher. It's not a perfect metric, but we say it.
Yeah, because the big boom in Milwaukee was in 2016, 2017.
Yeah,
when
that's right.
Third Space City, Good City, so many. So yeah, you guys were out in front of that.
And we were small. We started out in a 500 square foot closet in the Lincoln warehouse, and basically took a home brewery and got it commercially viable, certified. Got the permits and everything. And
don't go too crazy, Tommy. Viable is a variable term.
Usable,
I'm
passable.
James, I will also point out I'm James of Enlightened Brewing Company, co-owner of the 4th oldest continuing operating production brewery.
Okay, tell me what is the continually operating? Sounds like it's fine
right.
print for somebody that I'm not thinking of that stopped for a little bit. Is it?
In fairness, I put that stamp on it because I think through COVID, a lot of people shut down their production facilities, especially the smaller ones. And so I'll always say, well, if you hit the pause button, or you moved locations, or you did this sort of thing, then it's fine. But realistically, we're not far out of 5 or 6 if we're going just the timestamp of when you started. So, but a lot of those folks that had that timestamp before us are now either on different projects or have moved out of Milwaukee City proper or the county in general. So I think it holds water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In fact,
it's worth. I mean,
if you want to, but I think it holds water.
Like we don't have a trophy for it, or we're not.
We'll have to
cash or anything.
we'll have to get over to the Milwaukee Makers Makerspace and get you guys a trophy for 4th oldest continuously operating.
We do this bike race every year with Gathering Place. Awesome friend Joe Yeto in River West there. And just to give you an idea of what our budget is for, certain events and things, the trophy we got is a secondhand boxing trophy. So whatever brewery wins the
I'm going to correct you there, Tommy. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to correct you. That's an original print trophy. It cost us $11, and it's a boxing trophy. And when I went to the place on Old World 3rd, the guy said, do you want anything printed on the plaque? And I said, yeah, the Great Milwaukee Brewery Bike Race. And he looked at me like I was an insane human being because it's a boxer on top of the trophy. So, budget was $11. It's been passed back and forth between our good buddy Joe and Gathering Place a handful of times. I think we have it, right, Tommy? We've got it.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Hell yeah.
2-3 years in a row now, champs.
Nice.
So,
well, that's pretty proud. That should go on the Facebook about me page. Yeah. There you go. Oh, cheers.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. Well, Tommy, we talked. I think we met for the first time at Milwaukee Magazine, where my day job is. We had a couple events at Enlightened this spring and summer with related to the Top Chef. We had a couple watch parties there, and it was a lovely time. And we started talking. I can't be around a brewery person without talking shop a little bit. And we talked a little bit about kind of the environment out there. I mean, we mentioned it in the news and in the open with, there's been a lot of hard news this year. Hard meaning like difficult news. That's been pointing to the environment. Just in Milwaukee proper, we've had City Lights and company close. Can you kind of talk a little bit about, and James, obviously, asking both of these questions here, a little bit about what it's like out there selling beer in Wisconsin in 2024?
Well, it's not getting easier, that's for sure. I mean, it's been tough out there, and it's our job to try to figure out what's going on in the market, but it's not always easy. Nobody's got a crystal ball about where trends are going or anything like that, and it's sometimes even hard to explain, like, oh, we're down 5%, over last year or something. Like, where did we feel like we've been working just as hard here and things are going well, but where are those numbers coming from? So we're just trying to figure out exactly what's going on and make adjustments as we can. But I think across the industry, nationwide, but certainly in the city of Milwaukee and probably in Wisconsin, morale is low. It's harder to sell beer out there. It's harder to keep people's attention. Shelf space is constantly changing. Chain business isn't what it once was.
Just for a little bit of
trying to dig it out, you know.
Just for a little bit of context, what like can you talk about your distribution, your kind of your balance between, like, say, tap room, you know, kind of what kind of like type of brewery you are, and how that plays into, you know, what's working and what's a little bit more of a challenge right now?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's fun out there to see what models different breweries have. You know, you got your very small tap room only or tap room focused. Maybe they don't even package their beer, type of neighborhood brewery, all the way up to large scale production breweries that do contract brewing, and maybe they don't even have a tap room. They just focus on production and co-packing and that kind of thing. We're in the middle of that. We have a decent sized production brewery and a pretty big tap room. The capacity is 280 people. So we can, as you know, throw some pretty big events in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll just say for everybody listening and watching, if you've been to Milwaukee and haven't gone to Enlightened, you're missing out. It's a really cool space. And there's a lot of, you guys have a lot of like programming and stuff. Like Milmeg was kind of a part of that for a couple nights, but there's always interesting stuff, trivia, and like just kind of off, like different types of events than I think you'd often see at a lot of tap rooms.
We're really trying to get trivia off the ground. So for those folks that have nothing to do on Thursday, please come on down and play. Our friend Robbie is one of the most hilarious trivia masters there is, and you're going to have a good time no matter what.
Nice.
But I just want to jump in on the production side real quick, because I know this might be more of a sales and market conversation, and my insight is more on the, you know, nuts and bolts of the stainless steel. But you know, it's been really fun to see us take our brand from a very core thing that was never, you know, hot, as they say, the kids say, hot, and still find some success. And I think there's still some wiggle room within the market. I think there's some breweries that, you know, do a lot of flash in the pan, chasing some trend stuff. And that's a model that works. That's something that people intend to do and do well. For us, it's always been, you know, what can we do to the best of our ability, and what can we continue to do to the best of our ability? And I think that's going to see certain breweries through. I'm not saying that we're going to be the one that sees it through. You know, the writing's on the wall for a lot of breweries, and we might not be the one that makes it through. But, you know, does Cream City Bricks make it? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Does you know, Fantasy Factory make it? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? You know, that's in the eye of the consumer at the end of the day. So
yeah, and I will say something like just I don't know, a bit of a testimonial to how much more difficult things are than they were maybe in, like, we didn't start at this point, but like 2010 or before that, and then going into 2016, there was a time where if you were a brewery and your liquid was good, you were going to be successful. And there were a lot fewer pieces that you had to think about and program and plug in. And these days, to keep the tap room humming along and to keep sales going in the market, everything takes a bit more extra effort. And you got to like try to keep people's attention, find reasons for them to come to the tap room and stay, because they're not just going to come because you make beer. There's a lot more breweries. That's part of it. The trends, what people are drinking, I mean, maybe that's a factor. But it takes time to make beer. You know, you can take a look at what's selling in the market, and by the time you get around to developing a recipe, getting the packaging done, design, marketing, all that stuff, you might have missed that wave. You know?
Right. Well, and I get the sense that Enlightened is not exactly a chasing trends kind of brewery. I mean, James, you kind of alluded to this, like get in your wheelhouse and.
Chris, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I've been preaching that good word for a long time to my boy Tommy.
Ever since I met him.
Well, I mean, is this a discussion internally about what we? Okay, well, can you kind of talk through the different? Because I was not expecting this, to be honest. I mean, because from the outside, Enlightened's beer tends to be, to me, simpler, more traditional, simpler. Not in but like you're not going to win a silver for a milkshake pineapple IPA, right? I mean,
it's beer flavored beer we make. Yeah.
Yes, beer flavored beer, and but what are the tensions within that? Hopefully, I'm glad. You guys are not in the same building, it looks like, so there won't be any jumping into the other screen.
Yeah, no fist fights or anything, but I've had a couple beers now. Let's air it out.
Yeah. I watched CNN. They had conservatives and liberals on the panel after Joe Biden talked. Going back to your RNC thing that you did earlier. So Tommy, let's do it. Let's what role should I play?
So I mean, just like we can cover the broad strokes. It's yin and yang. There was a time when I first met James and I was making beer. I was homebrewing, trying to get it going as Enlightened Brewing Company. I mean, most professional brewers would laugh out loud at the recipes that I had and just the wacky ideas and thinking about then scaling that up.
Come on, Tommy, I didn't laugh out loud. I just told you to do it differently.
I had like 6 to 8 different malts in there for no good reason at all. And hop schedules that were just like, throwing darts. I mean, it was crazy. So I recognize that. Now being in the position that we're in, it's more, I don't know. I look at it from less of a beer enthusiast angle and more of a business angle. And obviously, like any business, they have a lot of goals, but primary goal is to make money. If you don't, you're not going to be in business. So obviously, like I want to try to capitalize on what's popular and what people are buying out there. And I'll give James, credit, whatever. I recognize that, I've learned that it's not possible always to just quick turn something. It can be really expensive to make beers that are on trend. And like I said, you might miss the opportunity. So, I mean, we do talk about it all the time. How can we make this happen? How can we play in that sandbox while staying true to what we do, what we want to do, and still making a business out of it?
Is my characterization of Enlightened's kind of brewing philosophy or approach pretty? Is that
Remind
close?
Me what you said. I'll need to remind you. What did you say?
Beers that tend to be simpler and traditional.
Yes, absolutely. I think that the main approach that I take as the production arm of Enlightened Brewing Company is let's make it clean, let's make it easy, let's make it repeatable. The main thing is the repeatability. We've grown up a little bit larger than maybe we should have. Arguably, to Tommy's point of, maybe we're a little bit bigger of a ship than can pivot, and hopefully the iceberg isn't dead ahead of us. But our whole goal is to be able to make a beer that lands, or make a beer that sells even mildly successfully, and then we can make it the same exact way every single time. And to touch back on, to give Tommy some credit, his whole ethos when we first started has now entered back into our brewery with our pilot program called the Rough Draft Series. And now what we're doing is money is no object. Anything is on the table. Let's just see what we can do. And so there is that level of kind of tapper release only, or kind of limited release draft only type model that is working, that is successful, and that every brewery needs to have, whether they're Third Space, Three Sheeps, Hacienda, whatever those folks might be. But they also probably should have the reliance on their core brand that can keep the lights on. You know, I mean, we're looking at the New Glarises of the world. Spotted Cow lets New Glarus do whatever they want. And we all wish we could be Spotted Cow. We all wish we could be New Glarus, but the reality is that doesn't exist, but in a vacuum that is New Glarus. So, you know, we're kind of dealing with that as part of the market. And we're hoping that we can all strike lightning at some point, get some extra dollars and keep moving the needle forward. But
yeah, I mean, mad respect for New Glarus, but unrepeatable. It's amazing what they've done.
Yeah.
And
that is not the roadmap to success for all the smaller breweries, right? I mean, they exist now. You can't.
Well, it's me.
That. I mean, you got to try to carve out a little a space, and right.
I thought my analogy was great. It's me with a Michael Jordan poster in my room. I'm never going to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean,
when you have to say it twice, it's not as funny. All right,
that's good.
I'll take another. Yeah, man, let's take another sip.
I'll have another. I mean, it's nice that we've found space in our brewery for something like that, where we can get creative, worry less about money, smaller batch sizes, because that's the fun of it. You know, when we started homebrewing, that was the draw. It was so cool.
What do you hear from your customers in the tap room about that? Like when they come, are they like, well, are they asking what's new, or are they like, yeah, give me the Moral Luck, give me the Brix, give me the porter
prototypical.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew it was pro something. You know, like
their answer, but I'm going to jump in right away and say I think it's about 50-50. I think half of our customer base in the tap room are always looking for the rough draft. They're always looking for something new. They're ready to try it. Then the other half are dead set on, I'm going to drink Kettle Logic. I'm going to drink Bread Idea. I'm here for Imperative. I'm here for Cream City Brix. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, we've got those tourists that just try everything. So
I think that is the case in our tap room. It's a pretty nice split between like loyal fans of a certain beer like Cream City Brix or Moral Luck, and people that are coming back because they want to see what's new. And with the Rough Draft series, we do have new things. And I don't know, they've all done really well, I think, no matter what the style is. It's not like people come and they see that we've made hazy IPAs, so they want to drink those. I mean, right now we have a Hefeweiss, a Belgian Blonde, and a Saison as part of the same Rough Draft series. And those are consistently doing well in the tap room. So that's really fun to see. I think in the market, my impression is that it's like if I have to hear what's new from you guys one more time, I'm just going to pull my hair out, because we're so focused on core brands and like good drinkable beer that has a lot of legs out in the market. But some people, they just, you know, bars and restaurants, or even
when you say the people pulling their hair out are the buyers for decision makers for bars, restaurants, and
I want to pull my hair out because I'm like,
I see. Okay.
You know how
what's new?
Yeah. It's like, well, we don't have anything that's new. The new stuff is in our tap room. How about another look at Cream City Brix, you know? And that doesn't always land with certain bars. You know, there's some, it's just mixed out there, but I think that the I don't know, people wanting new things all the time has slowed down a little bit from just before COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about a lot about the challenges here. What is working, and what are the things that you guys are going toward right now, and you know, kind of on a bigger picture.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I mean, I'm guess you mentioned. I mean, you mentioned the pilot system and the rough draft series. So, I mean, I'm assuming that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
rough draft.
is there what is the size of that system compared to your main system?
So it's interesting. We this is a terrible thing to say on a podcast because it's recorded, but it was a shower thought of mine when we were shutting down our old facility. It was kind of a light bulb moment, and it said, well, what can we do? And so we took 4 3.5 barrel fermenters from our old facility, which is now New Barons, which is great. And the idea was that we would use our main production facility, which is a 10 barrel brew house, and we would split that mother wort into 3 different tanks, and we would try to create 3 unique beers out of one mother wort. And then that 4th tank would be the finishing tank that we would move everything around in. And we've been pretty successful with it. I'm actually blown away with how well it worked out for just a harebrained scheme. But we do about 15 to 18 6 barrels. So 3 barrels of each beer. So it's a very, very small amount for our typical brewery, which, we've got 20 barrel fermenters and a 10 barrel brew house.
Okay.
Our major core brands or our bigger things are all done in 20 barrel batches. They're all canned. They're all can and draft. And the rest is, and the pilot program is just kind of small draft runs.
Interesting. So did that Saison, the Belgian blonde, what was the third one that you mentioned?
The Hefeweiss.
The half, that's got to be its own thing, right? I mean,
you'd think.
So all of it is made out of the same wort.
They were okay.
The yeast is the driver in that rough draft. So the yeast was a French.
So yeah, I guess you can have wheat in a Saison. You could have wheat in a Belgian blonde. Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
It's good head retention on that Belgian blonde. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I mean, and is 10 barrels just like too big of a swing, or 10 barrels, like, a full brew on the system? Is that just too big of a swing to take for a tap room only? I mean, that's 20 kegs. That's,
it ties up a lot of draft. It ties up a lot of our cooperage, but also it ties up a full 20 barrel tank. So we don't have any 10 barrel tanks. We don't have any bright tanks. All uni tanks. So every single fermenter is a primary fermentation vessel and a finishing tank.
Okay.
So if we tie up 10 barrels, we're going to tie up a lot of our cooperage in just one beer, and we're going to just tie up that 20 barrel tank for a long period of time, maybe longer than we need to. So the smaller tanks, the pilot tanks, are pretty successful. If something goes particularly well, like if we have a hazy IPA that sells through the roof more than the other ones in that series, then there's no reason why we wouldn't throw a 10 barrel batch of it together. But we probably want to couple that with packaging, and then we have to make the decision on, what does the packaging look like? How long does that take? There's a lot of variables that go into play with our kind of more factory-based style of production brewing than just our rough draft series pilot brewing. So
that's, without having a dedicated like pilots, like a small brew house, like a mini brew house or something, that makes it really tough to kind of But
that being said, since we do it on the 10 barrel brew house that we normally operate with, it's extremely easy to scale up any of the beers that we do to a 20 barrel batch or a 10 barrel batch.
Just do a double. You're just basically doing a double batch on a full.
Yeah. There's no different calculations for a different brew house to a larger brew house. So that makes it a lot easier.
Right.
So that is working in the tap room, and that's been really fun to see, and it's allowed us to keep doing it, which is awesome. Some of the programming we've been doing in the tap room is fun, and it also has been working. Our cribbage nights are great. Even just birthday parties, weddings, the big space that we have, watch parties, that's been really fun and like a dream come true for the tap room. It's just really cool to see. Out in the market, that's the question I'm always asking when I'm out. I'm like, what is what are people buying? What's working for you guys? What's selling right now? And part of the reason I think beer is down, everybody's like struggling a little bit more than they have been, is because people seem to be drinking a little bit less. And when they are drinking, they're drinking less beer. I hear a lot about High Noon being super popular, your hard iced teas, your ready to drink cocktails. That stuff seems to be having a moment. And then also the macroeconomic forces are affecting all of us. So it seems like economy brands, if you want to call them that, the cheap stuff is doing okay or better than a lot of us. Like Modelo is just going gangbusters right now. Like, in fact, I saw a statistic that
really good.
Yeah, I mean, right. I drink it.
Yeah.
The import beer right now as a category is way up, and it's pretty much all because of Modelo.
Yeah.
So that's a factor.
I saw I think it was just today or yesterday, I saw that was it Mick Ultra passed Bud Light into number 2 behind Modelo as the number, as far as like the best selling beer. I think it's in the United States. Usually I check my sources a little bit more before I say stuff like this on the air, but yeah, I mean it's the top of the beer world is just a totally different thing than what we talk about on the show, and I'm sure what you guys are dealing with. But I mean, of course, it's affecting you in a much more direct way. So, all right, well, what's coming up for Enlightened? What do you guys? Is something exciting in the tanks that's coming out soon that you're excited to have put in front of people? What big events? What's going on?
Couple things. I think broadly, we've developed this lager program over the last year or two that has been awesome, really fun. That's what I'm drinking right now, is a Moral Luck German Pilsner.
Really nice beer, yeah.
We kind of roll that into our Märzen style, the Vienna Circle for Oktoberfest. So that's actually coming out pretty soon, like it or not. They're released earlier and earlier every year.
I don't like.
At least you waited till July or August instead of June. So
yeah, so that's coming out. Vienna Circle. It's really awesome. We tweaked it a little bit this year, the recipe, and it's just better and better. It's tasting really good. And then the lager that we do at the end of the year is called Cosmic Nihilism, which is a Czech dark lager. Super fun to have that. And then once a month, we're releasing Rough Draft Series beers. So it's always like a hazy here and there, and then some Belgian stuff, maybe some strong stuff. We're doing Milwaukee Brewfest this year for the first time in like 7 years. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, we fell off the fest list and we're back on it a little bit.
That's the one on the lakefront, right?
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to the lager program, to our brewer Tyler. He was the one that really developed that for us, and he's been crushing it on the recipes. I want to say that I can take credit for all those, but I have nothing to do with them. I just help him make them. So Tyler Killips is
James
doing a very good job in the lager side of our world. So
nice.
Yeah,
and then just more. Thanks. But it's really good. The effects are.
You never know when that stuff's going to come in. The booing was really off-putting. I was not ready for that.
Yeah, sure. This is some high ABV production.
Yeah.
So and lots of events in the tap room always. If you guys want to book any private events, semi-private, birthday parties, whatever, check out our tap room. It's a really good option.
Can confirm. All right, James, Tommy, thanks so much for coming by on Badger Beer Hour, and best of luck. And I'll see you down at the tap room pretty soon.
Pleasure speaking with you.
All right.
Later.
Hey everyone, and it is me again, Joel Geyer, aka Brewery Travels, and we are back for another edition of Badger Beer Travels. And this is going to be one of the larger cities that we've done so far. We're going to go down to the extreme southeast corner of the state in Kenosha. And no, I did not time this up on purpose with the announcement of our noggin, which we will get to here in just a little bit. It's just the way it worked out. But first things first, just a little bit of background in Kenosha. It's about 100,000 people. Many of you know, if you're from the southeast part of the state, it's less than an hour to get there from Milwaukee. right on the border there pretty much with Illinois. Washington Park, which I found this when I was doing a little bit of research. I found this to be kind of a fun little fact. The country's oldest operating velodrome, which is for the bicycling, which I thought is quite something. I know they also, if you have kids and you're going down there, they got the Dinosaur Discovery Museum, the beaches and everything, because they are right down there on the lake. So plenty to do besides beer, but of course we are here to talk about the beer. And so getting started, as always, with a little bit of the lay of the land to talk about, there are 4 breweries currently in Kenosha. It sounds like it's possible that we may be getting down to 3. But Rustic Road and Public Craft, you can see there, are both located downtown. Kenosha Brewing located a little bit to the southwest, and our Noggin is located right along the highway. For any folks that are driving from Milwaukee to Chicago, or just driving to Chicago in general from most parts of the state, you most likely have driven directly by our Noggin and can see can see the brewery right there along the highway. But we will start downtown at Rustic Road because they are also the oldest brewery by 3 months. I was reading an article, apparently it's a little tongue in cheek because Public came around just 3 months after that. But the name was inspired by Wisconsin's Rustic Roads program, which I did a little Googling on because I was not familiar with this. But the Rustic Roads program was created over 45 years ago to provide hikers, bicyclists, motorists an opportunity to leisurely travel through the state's scenic countryside. And there are now over 126 designated rustic roads covering over 760 miles across 61 cities. I think that is, an interesting little tidbit because I certainly was not aware of it. But they emphasize that they produce in small batches, which is very obvious when you go onto their website and you see that as of now, there was 28 different beers on tap. So if you enjoy beer, you are going to most likely find something that you want to try there. They host several weekly events, open mic night, beer bingo, Family Feud, a lot of the classics. They also have a food menu that includes different wings, sandwiches, soups, salad, tacos, fish fry, etc. Some examples of their beer. So some of their kind of go-to flagships include the Hazelnut Harvest, a red ale, the Simmons Island Imperial Blonde, the Parkside Pilsner. And on their site, although it says that I have on the top, their Strasberry Milkshake IPA. Apparently on their website, it says that they pretty much always have a milkshake IPA on tap. It varies, but I also threw in there a Belgian de Bell. But so they are located right downtown there, and just around the corner basically is Public, and they opened in 2012. And for those that were following the news, I know that we talked about this when it happened, but they were purchased by Lakefront Brewing Company here in Milwaukee. So it was an interesting kind of surprising purchase when it did happen, but they are keeping it as is because they want to keep that brand in Kenosha. I know one of the quotes, I think from one of the articles, was talking about how they feel like Kenosha is underserved in terms of the number of breweries versus the population, which may become even more so if our Noggin does in fact close. They have their slogan, beer for the people. They also serve food there, including, some of the options I saw: wings, burgers, sandwiches, variety of games as well to play. They did move into their larger location in 2020. I skipped over that. So I have actually not been down there since they moved to that large location. Their original location was actually only a couple blocks away. So they have remained downtown throughout all of this. You can kind of see here, they, again, similarly have a lot of options on tap. They run the gauntlet from more traditional things. You see the light lager, a blonde ale, you throw in the hazy and an Irish stout, to doing an apricot saison and a honey jalapeno margarita sour. So this is another place that I feel like between those two, that they're only a couple blocks apart, you could really run your palate through a gauntlet if you go and wanted to really push yourself and try some different things. The next spot is Kenosha Brewing Company, which is a really interesting spot because it's located in a former monastery that nearly a century ago, local monks were brewing there. So, and there was actually a brewery with the same name that operated in 1936. But fast forward to today, And they also, they serve plenty of food. And one of their big things is that they had an event. They have a large event banquet space. You can host up to 180 people. And funny enough, when I visited there, they were actually setting up, including the bar area, for a wedding reception. So they are a little more on traditional side when it comes to beer, in terms of, cream ale, your American IPA, a Marzen, rye beer, barrel aged coffee stout. I know that was one of the big ones that they had there. So another little spot there that I think for events in particular is, a good one to have for the Kenosha area. And finally, then we get to our Noggin, saving the best, or the one here at the end here for the one closest to the highway. Can be a good, stop, very convenient stop if you're just passing by and not going to drive all the way into Kenosha. But I know Chris mentioned earlier about the interesting name, and that name is actually the two brothers put their noggins together. That is kind of their whole gist. I guess that's what it says, at least on the website. And if you look closely at the logo, the hat has a 2 and a 7 cards on the hat there, and that is because there are two brothers working 7 days a week on the brewery. That is what I was told as well. So they opened up back in 2016 in a former automotive garage. Their website states that they brew 90 different beers a year. They have the pizza shop there for food. It's unaffiliated, but you can get pizza there as well when you're trying some of the beers. The reason, and again, I pulled up, so this is the post just to kind of give everybody a little bit more background to all the family. Chris already touched on all this, but that's the post. If you're reading this, take a screenshot or whatever. But it sounds like they may still be trying to find something, but it's not going to be at that current location. So I'm sure we will keep our eyes on that for any official announcements. It does say in there that they are planning on doing another anniversary party in the future, before the end of the year. So obviously they will be, around for a little while longer if you're wanting to get down there and check them out. Because they brew so many different beers, obviously, they similarly run the gauntlet. Some of their flagships there, you can kind of see the Hefeweizen Cream Ale, the Hop Rocket Rider IPA, Clown Casket Imperial Red Ale, the Blue Raspberry Sour, and the Russian Imperial Stout. So yeah, I really feel like, Kenosha Brewing is the only one that kind of sticks a little bit, down the middle in terms of their style. And they throw a few things in there, but the other three breweries in Kenosha really do offer a ton of options. And like I said, they offer more traditional things if that's what you're looking for. And, I know we were just listening to hearing about how folks want to try something new, whatever's new. Well, these breweries are doing that for sure. So they definitely will do that. And also I should have included some pictures on here. But this will be kind of a little homework assignment for the listeners, is to go to their website and look at the artwork for the can for our Noggin, because they got some wild stuff, and it's all very much a specific theme. So it's a neat spot there. So again, I will go back here to the slide to kind of wrap things up for the lay of the land in case people wanted to look here. Kenosha again only has 4 and possibly down to 3 breweries, so it'll be interesting to see. And one of those 3 just went through the purchase with Lakefront. So a lot of changes coming to the Kenosha beer scene potentially. It will be interesting to kind of track both how Public and our Noggin, how those shifts occur. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth a little brewery excursion down there. And if you're in the southeastern or just southern part of the state, it's definitely convenient. And there's enough there to keep you busy. So as always, remember, whether it's where you're living or where you're visiting, be sure to drink local everywhere. Oh, here, Chris, what's up?
Yeah. So you mentioned the kind of low brewery density in Kenosha, and
Yeah.
that was actually a reason that Russ Klisch spoke with
Yep,
the writer who,
yeah.
I mean, he said, and this is obviously even before, with our Noggin, still in the picture, which is unclear at this point, but he said, this is a big market, and Public is kind of the leader in this market as far as local beer goes, and we saw a really good opportunity, and I think, we already saw that they invested in a new branding, which is not reflected here, but which is, but that's fine. But I'm not sure how public that is yet. But I think it'll be interesting to see what Lakefront can do with this market.
Yeah.
With public, the public brand, and they've got maybe have a little bit more leverage on distributors and the accounts and everything. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well, I mean, and just like talking about that whole southeastern part of Wisconsin, I mean, when you look at Racine, even there's only the one brewery there now, and you have to go over to Burlington's got the pair. And I know at one point, Kings and Convicts was supposed to build that huge facility, and that never happened. So that area, you really almost like once you start dipping into Illinois, there's a little more action with breweries, but that is definitely an area where if you're just looking purely at the population standpoint, that's arguably the one area in the state that has the most room for growth when you're looking at it from that standpoint.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, awesome. And Greg, yeah, we can. I said I can say the line again, but it's whether it's where you're living or where you're visiting, be sure to drink local everywhere, folks.
Greg.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, you're here.
Yeah, we should call this. It takes Greg an hour to get on screen. Badger. Something.
Well, I'm glad you're on screen. Yeah. Let's talk about some events.
Yeah, let's get on here. I'm not. Landon, I didn't pull up our normal one, so we might have to jump around here real quick. But
that's all right.
We talked about Malt City Brew Fest really quick last month.
Yeah.
But it's definitely coming up here in 3 days. It's in downtown Manitowoc. Has 30 breweries here. This is one I think we've covered every year since we've been back.
Yep.
So it might be sold out. Y'all are gonna have to get details on that. But I believe the weekend is talking about being nice to us everywhere. So
I think so. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, that's good. So we have these are kind of leftover from yesterday, Linda, so they're probably not on our last month. But Milwaukee Brew Fest is also this Saturday. This is the part of summer where there's 6 things during one day.
Right.
And you just have to almost if you're a beer person looking for something to do, you're gonna almost have to flip like a 6-sided coin or something. But Milwaukee Brew Fest is another classic beer fest that's been going on forever. Y'all are going to need to check those deets on the website for sure, because I'm not sure where they're at as far as tickets go. So
right,
ran through those real quick. Working draft, y'all. I don't know why this one's August. I guess we're into August already.
Yeah, we're almost in August, sadly.
Yeah, working draft check. Czech Festival. Chris is excited about this one. I'm not sure if he's going or not, but you'll know on the social media. But working draft loves the lagers, Landon.
Yeah.
So they love the Czech style lagers. Yeah, and I know you've I wouldn't say ranting and raving about it, but I know you like them.
I do. Yeah. Sometimes they're not so great to pour, like when you're pouring it, when you're working behind the bar, but drinking them is fun. Yeah, those side pulls are great. So
yeah, Lyndon, are you familiar with the Czech milk pour?
I am.
Yeah. You wanna tell us about that a little bit?
So the way those Lukr faucets work is if you just crack it open just a little bit, it's letting just foam out. Foam that is beer, not our typical foam that is the head, the airy type head that you would see on a normal beer, but these side pulls are letting out beer that's coming out as foam. So, and it's light and milky, really. So they'll give you a little pour about this big, and it'll all be milk, and you just shoot it. I mean, sometimes you can get a full glass of a milk pour. I've done that. You can shoot the entire thing, but that's, you toast and you toss it back.
Very nice. So it looks like a 2-day event here, and then it looks like Friday is when they're going to do that milk pour. I guess it takes longer, and y'all have to be patient. So
yeah, it takes forever to pour those. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why they're giving everybody a warning.
Yeah.
But that's a nice, happy hour Friday kind of thing. And then it looks like our friend Clint, will be having a little bit of a conversation about beer pours and Czech style beer on 2 p.m. on Saturday for you Czech style beer geek people who can't get enough of them, like Landon. So yeah, this looks like a fun time.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can scoot over there. Really, really good. So that's cool. Next we have this one. I don't know if you want to talk about this one, though.
Yeah, Das Fest, which translates to the fest. Yeah. Friday, August 2nd to Sunday, August 4th. So 3 days at the Bavarian Beer House down in Glendale. You get in for free. They'll have all sorts of stuff, I guess. Stein holding contests, corgi, dachshund races, individual races, corgis and dachshunds. Glass blowing. If you're not into beer, you can have wine. Of course, they'll have beer and all the German food that you could possibly eat. It sounded like they'll have some German vendors, games, all that kind of stuff. So basically, an Oktoberfest celebration in August. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know how that goes. We'll leave that. But great place, great stop, all that
100%.
things, all the German things. Y'all love it. Never heard of this one, but man, look at it. It's a whole weekend too. So that's gonna be fun.
Right.
So then we have next we have the same weekend again, y'all just gonna have to pick same city.
Right.
It's wild. Mobcrest Weird Beer Fest.
Yeah, Weird Fest.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Henry's doing some great stuff with Mobcraft, of course, still. So that's great. They're celebrating their 11th anniversary. So we know that before they moved down to Milwaukee, they were in Madison. So they've been 8 years now in Milwaukee.
Respectfully, before you go further, I just want to talk a little bit about Mobcraft.
Yeah.
And when I say respectfully, it's because about what I'm about to say is probably not going to be the nicest sounding thing.
Sure.
But if of all the breweries that I've came up with, Lyndon, around here, I would have never guessed that Mobcraft would be still kicking it hard. It appears, and just because of the model, I was always afraid of that model where they let their fans, I think they got away from it a little bit, but I still think they do that actually. But the core used to be the fans pick the beers and we make the beers.
Right.
And I used to be like, well, I don't really trust the fans that much. So, y'all want people like me making your, raspberry lemonade, raisin bran beer. Y'all, is that what y'all, you know what I mean? But Mobcraft has, man, they've really done well. So, this is one of their biggest events of the year, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think they're moving it to a different location this year, or no. It's at the tap room. My bad.
Yeah.
But it's Weird Fest, so they make it's funny because they make weird beers. That's pretty much been their whole thing. So I'm sorry if I interrupted you, but
no, you're fine, man. So wear your weird costumes. They're gonna have high flying Mondo Lucha wrestling, live music, food, belly dancers, face painters, vendors, and then all over the weird beers. So and this year they're going to have Mermaid Echo, a real life swimming mermaid. So there you go. Yeah. We've seen real life mermaids in Montana, but never in Milwaukee. So That'll be different. So here's just a a small taste of, I guess maybe it's all of their beer releases. They're going to have a Bloody Mary brunch, a spicy Bloody Mary inspired beer, Baja Buds, lemon lime Weiss with blue raspberry, 5 pepper amber. It's got garden hot peppers made in an amber beer, Funky Pebbles, sour ale with the flavors of Fruity Pebbles. Yep.
Okay.
And their 11 year anniversary barrel aged crush smoothie style.
Okay.
I don't know
That
about
one
a
sounds the best,
smoothie barrel aged. Yeah.
That actually sounds like the best one I've heard. The rest of them, I don't know.
Baja Buds.
Of course, I would try them. I would try them. So.
If you're gonna go, you may as well.
Oh, right. So,
Yeah.
Here's some of the shenanigans that they have: belly dancing.
There you go. Yeah.
Wrestling. More belly dancing. More wrestling. Ooh, dad strength. Okay. So this is happening all day. This sounds fun. It really does sound fun.
And a mermaid.
Yeah, and then they have this little thing where you can book your reservation at the world's smallest island party. When I took this little screenshot, y'all, all the tables or all the times are open. So
there you
I'll
go.
jump in. This is next weekend, not this weekend. Is Wildfest, y'all. It's Weird Fest. Sorry, Weird Fest.
Weird
Block
Fest.
party. 11 to 7:30, August 2nd, or I'm sorry, August 3rd.
Yeah.
So that should be a hoot.
If if you don't like weird things and you're an IPA drinker, same weekend, Saturday, August 3rd, 2 to 5, Third Space Brewing is doing the 8th annual Wisconsin IPA Fest. So they'll have IPAs from 40 plus breweries from around the state, hundreds of beers to sample, food trucks, DJ, and a bunch of other fun things along the way. There's VIP tickets, general admission tickets. VIP, I think, is $85 if they're still around. $55 for general admission. You get a bunch of stuff included, all that good stuff. Designated driver tickets if you get a designated driver, which, of course, we always recommend that you do. Yeah, IPAs, if those are your thing. IPA
yeah, and
Fest.
it says we'll announce which brewery will take home the title of Wisconsin's best IPA as voted on by experts. I think one of the experts is someone that we know.
Yeah.
Near and dear to us.
I believe he did one of these shows live from IPA Fest 1 year. Yeah.
That's why they should put the quotes near the experts is what I'm saying. But, I'm just trying to nitpick here. Sorry, my bad. No.
He ain't on the screen, so it's we can poke fun at him all we want.
Yeah. We can run him down, and we don't have to say anything, right? But Chris does say that this is one of his favorite. I have heard him say that this is one of his favorite beer events.
Yeah.
And our friends at Venture, I believe, took second 1 year, or did they win? I don't know. It's a fun event, y'all. If y'all big IPA people, great host. Third Space is a great host. They got a great little spot there for everybody. This is a fun event. So for all you IPA hopheads, jump in. So without further ado, we have the Great Taste of the Midwest, one of the biggest, if not the baddest, beer event in this bitch we call Wisconsin. But before we get to the Great Taste, it's Great Taste Eve, y'all. It's become a tradition for many of the visiting breweries to partner with local establishments to showcase their beers. So even if you missed out on Great Taste tickets, if you did, call me. I can tell you how to navigate this, but you'll still be able to find many opportunities. It's almost like Christmas Eve down here in Landon.
Yeah.
Everybody goes out the night before. Why would you go out the night before the Great Taste? Because there's just so much, people are out and about. There's different, beer. I couldn't put them all here, y'all. The different events. So you'll have to go to greattaste.org, the Great Taste Eve. If you're in town for it, you have to go out and you have to do something. It's fabulous. Again, I literally cannot put all of them here. Also, there's some breweries like Venture who aren't in this year, but who are doing events. So check that out, y'all, when you get there. So then the Great Taste is the August 10th, y'all. We will not, we won't, the next Badger Beer Hour won't be until August 17th, which is Wednesday after. But, so Great Taste is this week. This month coming up. Again, biggest, baddest, beer festival in Wisconsin, probably history of Wisconsin. If y'all don't have your tickets yet, again, hit me up, hit somebody up. We could tell you about that. But you should see Joel and Chris, I believe, are attending this year. So you can see them around and harass them. There will be about 200 breweries there this year, y'all. I don't think it's going to make 200. It's going to be in like the high 190s. There'll be about 30 rookie breweries. I don't think it'll reach 30, but it'll be high 20s. There are about 1,400 beers. I don't think it'll reach that, but it'll be high 100. Yeah. And attendees, 6,000 sold. I don't know if it'll be that, but you know how that goes. A sellout doesn't have all the people in it. But so those are it's just going to be a normal Great Taste, y'all. Really nothing different than if you've been before. Let's hope for good weather. And it's just a wonderful event. Everybody loves it. And one of these years in, then we got to get you down here for that.
One of these years when the kids let me get out of the house in the summertime.
Yeah, soon. Your kids are getting to that age where soon you're going to have to be chasing them. So, instead of them chasing you. But the Great Taste has one of the best locations ever for a beer festival. This is where I took this picture in 16, 17. So look at that Milwaukee Brewery there. So yeah. Good times. Love the taste. Y'all should love it too. So we got one more event landing after the taste, and that is I didn't mean to do that. Wisconsin Donut and Beer Festival. I believe this is the first of it. I believe
so. Yeah. So, happening Saturday, August 17th.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You go.
Yeah, 1 to 6. We've talked about Wisconsin Brewing Company Park before. So that's where the Dock Hounds play. That's where they have that little brewery in the stadium, which is kind of cool. So the whole donut and beer festival will be there. If you like donuts and beer, who doesn't like donuts and beer? One-of-a-kind donut options, 150 plus beers, ciders, seltzers, entertainment for everybody. You can bring your kids. How great is that? Each ticket provides an all-inclusive experience. You'll get free food and drink sampling tokens with your tickets and a cup and a branded lanyard and a fun day. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to getting to that, that baseball with the beer and all that. I'm not really a baseball fan, but I do like to go to the game, especially in minor league games.
Yeah.
Kitty games. I don't know. I like a Major League Baseball game. But I have to go, Landon. I have to go and do the tailgating and all that. So that's a really good event for that. To check them out. Lake Louise beers are always been solid and fun. Wisconsin Brewing, they're pretty good. So it should be a fun event, y'all. You should be able to
check that out.
Time. Yeah, when is that again, Landon? Is that
August 17th? It's a Saturday.
So that's the weekend after the Great Taste.
Yep.
And actually we'll be here August 21st. My bad, y'all. So I fibbed y'all, but I got it right. So and thanks for helping assemble these events and helping me cover them. We'll see y'all soon. Cheers. Well, we'll leave that side conversation about Mobcraft and the side conversation over there. Y'all tripping out over there. That's making me laugh. But anyway,
It's an interesting brewery and one that, frankly, I do respect. I do respect. I like Mobcraft.
Yeah.
They've really earned it at this point. There's really no question about that. So y'all may or may have not noticed. In fact, you probably didn't notice because you probably are trying to watch us on Twitter, but we're no longer on Twitter because we have to have premium accounts to stream there. So we're gonna figure all this out, y'all. We're gonna make sure we get back in front of your faces here.
If you would like to sponsor our the Badger Beer Hour Twitter, we'd love to talk about your business and in exchange for hooking us up on getting back on live streaming on Twitter. That'd be nice.
Yes, and when we are on Twitter, we have a nice reach there, and when we're not, clearly we don't. So there's that.
Well, we'll get this out. We'll get this out on replay. It'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll get an audience out there.
Joel and I, do a good job of curating content over there and making sure your beer events and your beer news is given to you on almost a daily basis, even though we're lazy and we only show up for you for once a month here. But anyway, we're there all day, every day. Of course, Chris's Twitter is always active. Obviously, Joel is still running around the country, going to exotic places for beer, so he's there. And then Landon, of course, is still doing taproom traveler stuff too. So check us all out, y'all. This is we're still on we're on Instagram too. So you can catch us there. You can catch us on Spotify, y'all. You can listen to us, or you can catch the video there too. So all of that. And then no one gave me, apparently none of these guys are doing anything, y'all, because no one gave me any media.
I didn't know that
do anything.
I don't have any media.
They don't,
yeah, sorry.
They don't go to exotic places like Alaska, or they're not at every beer event in Milwaukee like Chris, or you know what I mean? They're not gallivanting in Montana like Landon, but whatever. All right.
I mean, you already mentioned great taste. That's the only interesting thing on my agenda right now.
I guess y'all are not doing anything, and that's fine. I'll talk about what I'm doing.
I'm hitting my 200th brewery in Wisconsin on Sunday.
Well, wait, now it's not even your turn.
I know. You seemed like there was nothing to talk about, so I was going to go ahead and just throw it out there.
Because y'all don't give me any media.
Well, I don't have media for it.
I'm about to drop all of y'all. But anyway, I'm going to Barrel and Flow, y'all.
Nice.
There you go. Will not see you at the Great Taste this year. I'll probably see you at the Great Taste next year. But Barrel and Flow is in.
Is the weather going to be better this year? Didn't it get stormed out kind of last year?
Oh, it was
not stormed out, but
kinds of mess. Yeah. I got through the festival, man, so I'm good for a good mess. It kind of sent me home early, and that was fine. But hopefully it's better this year. But if not, it's cool. It's Pittsburgh, so I hope it always rains there, for the record. But that's a sports ball kind of thing, so it's fine. Ignore me.
Cleveland fan, yeah.
Who we shouldn't ignore is Joel, because not only has he been to Alaska, y'all need to get to his breweries travel thing. And respectfully, I know Joe could probably talk 2 hours about that. We should probably get him on a damn podcast so he can talk 2 hours about that. But check Joel's social media for all that. But what else is coming up, Joel? You said you're gonna get to your 200th brewery.
Yeah. Well, I said after getting to a brewery in all 50 states, I didn't really have too many other milestones, but I'm lining it up so that we're going to Minnesota this next weekend and going on a fishing trip up on the Canadian border with my dad, my uncle, my brother, and my grandpa. But on the way there, my old hometown that I spent a decade of my life in from the age of 1 to 11, Cashton, Wisconsin, which is 1,000 people, about half an hour east of La Crosse. And there are 2 small breweries located in the rural areas around Cashton. And I'm going to be hitting one of them. Will be my 200th brewery in Wisconsin.
What are the names of those breweries?
Footjoy Farm.
Footjoy Farm?
And brewing, and their tap handles look like feet, apparently. So
Okay.
yeah, and then the other one is Alchemy Brew Pub. They are technically in the unincorporated towns of Melvina and Leon, which are near.
There's some names.
Oh,
Yeah, there
Melvina.
you go. Melvina and Leon. Yeah, my dad used to play slow pitch softball when I was growing up in Melvina. So
It's like an old lady named Melvina.
that's probably.
Are we sure it's not Melvina?
And Leon was probably her husband.
Yeah, Leon probably was her husband.
Leon and Melvina. Leon and Mel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to Leon and Mel. We're gonna play Sheepshead till 8:00, and then it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
We gotta get.
That's my I guess announcement side great taste, and I've still working on the book stuff. The book stuff's coming along though. I got another meeting tomorrow, so that I'll have more updates on that hopefully coming down the line here.
Nice.
I don't want your feet near my beer.
Well, I don't think the actual they don't have actual. It's not but maybe they are a mold of somebody's foot. I don't. I'll make sure to get good pictures, and then I can. You want some media, Greg? I'll send you some media.
They should do for their anniversary party. They should do one of those. Ow! They should do one of those things where you like the grape stomping thing. They should do that with hops or something, and then brew a beer out of it, and everybody would be grossed out that they drink it.
Flavor would become from something else. Then I think.
Keep y'all's feet away from my beer. This is ridiculous.
James is still in the chat. He just drops a big old nope on that.
Nope.
Yeah, I assume it's
This is
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, Lyndon. I hope you don't have. Yeah, I hope you don't.
No, I'm in some talks with shooting some videos. Unfortunately, everybody's really busy. I mean, fortunate and unfortunate. I'm really happy that these breweries that I'm in talks with are super busy. It's good, especially in the times that we are in with some of the breweries around. So it's good to see beer flying out the doors, but it's tough for me to shoot a video when they're that busy. Other than that, just once a week behind the bar at Lazy Monk. So if you're in town on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Thursday, you might see me behind the bar.
Excellent. Charles,
Great taste. Milwaukee Magazine's August issue is coming out. If you live out state, you might be getting it next week. Otherwise, early August, obviously. Cover story is tailgating, which I had a little bit of hand in, so wrote some things for that, and we will have. It's a good little package, and I don't know. It's a really solid Milmeg issue, so you can look for that. Otherwise, see you all at the Great Taste. If you see me, say hello. I might be in Tangier for the Dylan fans out there, but no, really, come say hi. Just I love talking to. If you sit through an hour and 27 minutes of this, I want to hear about it and understand why you're so broken, why your brain is so broken. No, not really. But I mean, no, I just want to appreciate you and you know what? At the Great Taste, I'll even buy you a beer.
What a guy.
Get it?
Okay. No, I got it. Yeah, what a guy. What a guy.
And on that note, Joel, Chris, y'all have a great time at the
here's the feet. Here's the feet for you, Greg.
Oh boy, yeah. those are really feet. Ooh, holy crap. You gotta wonder if this is like a foot fetish situation, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I should ask or not.
He's pulling that handle every day. He's like,
gotta
30 times a day.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to be in the running for my awards at the end of the year for most interesting tap handles. I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Are they is there five? Are there 5 toes on that? We can't really see.
Well, it looks like the nails are painted too.
Or some kind of alien. Wow.
Jewels on the nails.
I gotta find out more. Or maybe I don't.
Some of y'all are enjoying this too much. That's all I got. I'm not naming any names. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, this was awkward. What an awkward way to end a Badger Beer Hour. Almost as awkward as Chris showing his underwear at one time. Remember that, Lyndon?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I just get up? Because I'm not wearing pants right now. I'll tell you that much.
You had kind of beer shorts on. It was weird and awkward. I
Yep.
don't know. Anyway.
Liney
Is he
underwear. I don't know.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hot those look like the hot shorts, the heated shorts.
Yep.
Hot shorts.
Yeah, hot shorts
Okay.
doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
The next Badger Beer Hour is August
You mean-
21st.
Badger Beer Hour and a half.
It's a Wednesday. I want to thank my crew here for another great Badger Beer Hour-ish. I want to thank our wonderful guests, Tommy and James. They were fabulous and fun. And best of luck to Enlighten.
Shout out to those guys for shooting straight about like
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really know that we were gonna get into like a family feud there, which I don't think it was really, that. But I mean, like there's a lot of internal discussions that happen within breweries all the
You
time.
bet. Yeah,
Cream
you
City
bet.
Brick is one of my absolute favorite, just like go
Yeah,
to.
we really didn't linger on that long enough. That's a bomb beer, and
That is one of my.
we were kind of talking about Spotted Cow a little bit, and then it's like I was kind of
Wait,
trying
which
to.
one?
Cream City Brick.
Cream City Bricks, their cream ale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my favorite. I love that.
I-
Arguably,
I wanted to spin that into a quick discussion about Cream City Bricks, but I miss it, and that's on me.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, you
Cream City
missed
Bricks,
it.
good.
Maybe next month. I'll see y'all guys next month. Thanks again, Tommy and James. Thanks, Landon, Chris, Joel, for all y'all do for this project. We'll see y'all next month, August
Thanks for watching, all.
21st.
21st.
Yes. Thank you, y'all. Cheers. Good night.
Cheers.
Thank you.